So I don't know what's going on here. My white mic is like wobbly, but the screw that needs to be tightened is like under here. So I have to like take this off and figure that out later. But whatever. For now, I'm just gonna record with the wobbly mic and see how it sounds. All right. So I came across this VersaGrip email. This is the email, and this is the page that it's driving traffic to. So this is not an email. This is the email. And what I like about it is that we're driving traffic to an article. I love sending emails like that because people get something out of it even if they're not going to buy. And in this case, it's a list of gym equipment that they can buy and basically own, almost like a mini home gym type thing. What I think we can improve is the click rate. So this is okay. I mean, there's a certain number of people that'll click anything you send, and this is only going to get them. So the email itself is not doing very much heavy lifting in getting clicks. So I'm going to be adding all of those elements that actually get people to click that might otherwise not be interested in it, without being like clickbait. We're not trying to like trick people into clicking something that they're not interested in. Okay. And they've kind of given the CTA to the article up here, and they've added another section that does the same thing. So what they're doing here is they're not really confident enough that this is going to be enough to get people to click. So they kind of like are taking a second swing. The reality is that doesn't work. So what we're going to do is improve this section into something that people will actually want to click. And then we're going to create a blank canvas and use that extra space for other stuff instead of just kind of trying to drive traffic to the same page twice in a suboptimal way. All right, so here is our new hook. Build a home gym under $575. So all I did here was I went to the page and I counted out the low end of all of these prices, and it added up to probably 580, and then I just said, under 575, whatever it added up to on the low end. That's a proper hook. Build a better gym setup is okay, but this is a proper hook that'll actually get people to click, because if people are interested in something like that, we're like, oh, if I can get a home gym for under 575, I'll actually do that. They will definitely click. Build a better gym setup. People who are otherwise interested in what this article offers, like that might not be enough for them to get them to click, which is unfortunate, right? Because those are good leads. So making it clear there, and same thing in the subject line. Some people say you shouldn't use the same text and in the subject line and in the email header. I might have repeated that too, but honestly, I've never seen an issue with that. A lot of this lore, I don't know where it comes from, but like in actual testing, totally fine to do. If anything, I think logically it's a good idea because it's super congruent with why they opened the email. And this is a blurb that's just delivering the first little bit of the article. So by the time you've read a few lines of the first paragraph of the article, you know if you're interested or not. And then we have a keep reading link there and a button to read the full guide. So both of those lead to the same thing, but I'll get into more of this later. But like, having two links puts them in the mindset of like, which one should I click, as opposed to like, should I click at all? If you have one link, the question in their mind is, should I click this? If you have two CTAs, now the question is, which one should I click? It's kind of like the vending machine thing, where if you have like a vending machine that sells chips and a vending machine that sells pop, you're like, which one should I buy from, as opposed to like, should I buy at all? Anyway, so a couple other design decisions. So I like this aesthetic of the repeating American flag. So I don't know, there's something about the American flag aesthetic that just makes sense in fitness, so I just added that next to the logo. I'm in Canada, and even I feel it. So if I feel it, there's definitely something that resonates there. So, and it's it's not included in the email. So I think I like that it's in the website, and I think we should match that in the emails as well. And what else did we do here? I also like the module style here, where it's like image block. Some of them are image block with the tinted black background and then text on top, which is what I went with here. And some of them are separate modules. This isn't bad either. Like this is more of like a preference style thing. So some clients, we do this as well, where it's like a gradient black, and then the hero image fills up the entire header section. That's good too. Like, I have nothing against that, but I like the module style that they did on the website here, and with the tinted image with the white text on top. It's so unfortunate. This is not a real ad, but it's a real photo, but someone like turned it into a watch ad, and the watch is like barely in frame. That's what like this kind of reminds me of, with like the VersaGrips logo and the product kind of like tastefully just in the frame, like right under the text and below where it gets cut off. But the main focus is on like the guy lifting. Yeah, it's just, if you run a watch brand, you know what to do. Like, it's so unfortunate that this was never a real ad. At least I think so. I don't know if it was real, but yeah, the idea here is watches don't, like, good watch companies are not selling watches. They're selling you the idea of like being this dude. It's just brilliant. Anyway, okay. So another thing was, I like the pill shape in the website, but I actually like the all caps in the original email. So I kind of merged both of those together. Okay, so this is a huge improvement over the original header section. Better hook, better subheader, better CTAs. If this isn't going to get them interested in the article, they're literally just not interested in the article. So you gain nothing from like trying to get them to click at this point. We've told them we've given them a taste of the article. We've made it more clear who it's for. So clearly they're not interested. They're either not interested in home gym, already have a home gym. $575 is either like out of their budget or too little for them. So now we've cleared up the rest of the email. We've cleared a blank canvas. And what we're going to add is social proof and a buy box. Now, some people who don't know what they're talking about will say, some emails should only be value. You should not have a buy box. Don't try to sell anything. What you're not considering is that some people want the product. And if you don't have a buy box, that's not valuable to them. The way to make this email valuable to people who want the product is to make it easy to buy. It's kind of like if you're out of cereal, for example, and the one thing that reminds you to buy the cereal is an email that you get from them. And then there's no clear way to buy it. You have to like tap onto this article and then kind of get distracted. And it's like a super annoying process. That's just going to make your experience worse. And especially with an article like this, where you're like kind of pushing other products, someone who might. So with a brand as big as VersaGrips, I guarantee you there are some people that clicked this email with the intent to buy the product, but then got distracted and like bought something completely different. And this is like e-com's like a winner take all game, right? Like, people have a scarce amount of money that they're willing to spend. It's not like you have unlimited shots on goal. If someone's interested in the product, make it easy to buy the product is all I'm going to say. All right, so these guys have good social proof. I went ahead and took the Dr. Mike Israetel testimonial that they've got front and center. So they've got a well-known partner, so we want to leverage that. I mean, I don't know if there's like some contractual limits that some brands have, but like I've heard that some are hesitant to use their best social proof because it doesn't represent their ideal customer. So that's a very old school way of thinking. It's kind of like remember like those infomercials from like the early 2000s where like, oh, you're selling this weird kitchen utensils to like people over 70. So all the characters in the infomercial are people over 70. It doesn't really work like that anymore. So I have clients where their target audience is old people, or like athletic people, whatever you want to call it, just the average person. But all our social proof are like the best forms of testimonials. So from like these top athletes and things like that. And that still converts better for those older people or those unathletic people, because what's more important is that you show their dream outcome, who they want to be like or who they want to perceive themselves as. You know, old athletic people don't perceive themselves as old and unathletic, and they're not inspired by seeing other unathletic people. So if that's a reason, if that's like something that you have in your mind of like why you shouldn't use your best social proof and you should use your most relatable ones, I hope you can flip your perspective on that, because it's the exact opposite is true. Use your best social proof as much as you can. Okay, so that's our social proof section, and then we've got our buy box. So a few things going on there. We've got the review section, again the double CTA thing. So now we would end up sending traffic to the same page, either one they click, but now they're in a position of which one should I click, not whether or not I should click. So there's a shop now button, and then underneath is a read 460 plus reviews. Another option for that is shop all products. So that could be worth testing as well. But either way, the point is don't do 3. 2 is what works. So 2 outperforms 1, and 2 also outperforms 3. So it's not like, at this point, don't make like a list of random buttons, but 2 is the sweet spot. And once again, I just love that aesthetic of the repeating American flag that they've got on the website. So I think that's like a perfect way to have your footer as well. So this lift your potential, that's because that's like, if we made that part of the banner style thing, it would be way too small to see. So I made that the bigger portion right here, and then made in the USA down here, which I think looks sick. So this, if you compare, if you split test this versus this, there's no way it wouldn't get like 2 or 3 times the number of clicks. So if you've got a brand that's making over $100,000 a month, hit me up and we will work together. If you want to see more of the exact process of like how I specifically design the emails or strategize and come up with the copy, tap the video on the screen and I've got a full 30-minute breakdown on that.